Hello and welcome to the Gut Show. Through the Gut Show, I want to help listeners to get a better grasp of the crypto world by getting into conversation with some of the leading voices in the crypto world. And in this episode, I am going to get into conversation with amazing and inspiring Cooper Turley. Cooper is the crypto strategy lead at Audius. He manages social tokens like FWB and RAC and curates NFT alongside with prominent musicians and motion designers. He's an active contributor to the Web3 publication like The Defiant and Bankless and oversees a DeFi newsletter. To begin with, I would really like to know how did you fall into the crypto rabbit hole?
Yeah, so I've been working in crypto for about 5 years now. I think for a long time I've been very entrepreneurial in nature. I love curation. I was selling Pokemon cards in high school, doing a lot of music discovery in college. And so for a long time, I've liked to be very early to trends. When I heard about crypto and more specifically Ethereum, I got really excited about the idea of spinning up new tokens, starting new digital communities. And for the past 5 years, I've been trying to figure out what my way is into that. Myself, I went to school for music business, basically came into the space with a really deep appreciation for culture and more culturally relevant assets. And so spent some time in DeFi for DeFi Summer for a couple of years, came back from that, really loved the idea of NFTs and social. Now spend my time basically doing a lot of stuff around governance and DAOs to help organize online internet communities to work together and form really cool shit.
Awesome, yeah. Wow, you you had a very interesting journey to crypto. So at the same time, you went the music business. So how was it there, and how did it shape you?
So music is I think that it gets really difficult when you try and go from turning it into an art into a business. And so what I saw a lot of friction around was working with really creative people on really beautiful art, trying to put a price tag on that and monetize it. At the time, a lot of I thought there was in place to disrupt the payment flow. And so for me, seeing something like smart contracts as the ability to expedite payments, specifically for royalties, and to better connect artists with fans. I think that everyone in the music industry is trying their best to help empower artists as much as possible, but unfortunately, the technology today to support them in real time, it's not set up to cater, deep fan bases online. And so what I try and do is basically take the most interesting aspects of what I love about music. So namely discovering music early on, namely finding friends through the music that you love, and help ascribe ownership to that through the usage of things like, crypto, NFTs, social tokens, Discord servers, private access, et cetera, et cetera. And it's my belief that over a 5-year time horizon, we're going to find some really cool ways to give fans some true ownership of the songs and the artists that they love the most.
Interesting. I would also like to know, you how working with artists. So, I mean, you work a lot with artists and perception of crypto or NFTs. So I would love to know your approach on how you educate about crypto to them.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think from a high level, every artist is fascinated by the idea of crypto. I think it becomes a lot more challenging to do something tangibly with it. And what I'll say from a high level is that the bigger the artist is, the more difficult it is to do something because there's a lot more social capital on the line. And so I've had the pleasure of working with artists of all shapes and sizes. I think what I've noticed the most is that up and coming artists are the most willing to dive in. You see them joining Audius, you see them doing NFTs on Catalog, you see them in the Songcamp Discord, really just putzing around and exploring the cutting edge. As you get higher up the chain to bigger artists, I think you have to be a lot more calculated about how you engage in this domain. And so to answer your original question, how I approach this is first and foremost, I'll pretty much only ever work with artists who are genuinely passionate space. I don't want to be the one that's out here trying to sell the idea of crypto to people. Once an artist recognizes that this is a space they need to be involved in, I want to be the person to help them execute on that vision. And then when it comes to actually executing on that vision, my involvement is basically finding relationships, platforms, and partners to work directly with these artists to help bring their ideas to running a drop on Nifty Gateway, which we saw a couple months back, to now running co-op NFT giveaways. Tycho, and basically at a show last weekend, if you attended a concert, you could claim an NFT for free that represented a digital show ticket of that event. And it's my belief that it's not about making artists the most money possible. I see NFTs as a way to build a social graph with these musicians, and over time, just trying to educate them on the fact that having a digitally native audience that all have Ethereum wallets that you can give them cool assets through is going to be an exponentially valuable asset. And it's my job to help educate them on why that's important, and then give them the tools and the platforms to go and execute on that vision.
Yeah, very cool of that. Like really awesome. That brings us to audience. So can you discuss a bit about audience and yeah.
Absolutely. So Audius is a decentralized streaming platform. The way I like to think about this is, what if SoundCloud gave ownership back to the artists that helped make it valuable? And so one thing that I mentioned early on is the artist to fan relationship. In the platforms that we see today, it's very difficult to connect with your fans. It's very difficult to know who's listening to your music. And more importantly, there's no sense of ownership over the platforms that you're releasing on. And so with Audius, what we're building is a platform to allow artists to connect directly with their fans, and ways for them to earn ownership in the network for the value that they create. We have a token called the Audio Token, which is a governance token and a platform token. And we build out tools and features that allow artists to better integrate with their fans using crypto native primitives like NFTs, like social tokens, like governance, and all this fun stuff. And the cool middle ground that we sit in is having a crypto-based platform that now has 5 million monthly active users, while the vast majority of them have no clue they're using crypto. You sign in with an email and a password, you have an Ethereum wallet under the hood, but you're not required to use that to get started. And so basically the space that we sit in is being built on crypto. Every song on the platform is hosted on IPFS and stored via decentralized file storage system. But on the surface, you don't really know that you're using a crypto app. And I think our big intent here is to basically build a mainstream ready application that has all of the core tenets that you need to interface with crypto without ever knowing that it exists, or without ever having to know that you're using that to be able to have fun and explore the app.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing knowing about. So NFTs are creating a major boom. So even now, I was going to buy Cool Cats over FWB, and I am regretting it now. FWB just pumped to $33, and yeah. So yeah, I'll cut this part, but NFTs are creating a major FOMO. So why do you think NFTs are such a big deal?
I think that it's the first time people who are new to crypto can finally understand how to get involved in a very meaningful way. Crypto, it's been about buy X token because it's going to go up Y%. It's been an entire financial first investment. And with NFTs, you have such a wider design space for collectibles, for sentimental relationships. And while we're seeing a lot of speculation around NFTs today, I think that the visual and sort of collectible nature appealing to people new to crypto. And specifically for artists, this is a way for them to step into a world that's felt very financial in nature and really put their skill to work. Find a new class of creative talent coming into the space with the new audience buyers who open to the idea of something like trading cards. I think that you have this really vibrant breeding ground where people are excited to collect. They have opportunities to profit from crypto in ways that they haven't in the past. And genuinely, it's just fun. I think that for those of us who have been in crypto for a long time, there's nothing better than finding a token on Uniswap very early, finding the community on Discord and getting involved. For the vast majority of users, they don't have a Discord, many of them haven't downloaded MetaMask yet. And so what we see with NFTs is a way to get into the space in a much more meaningful way, to do it a lot faster, and for it to be involved with brands and communities that they're very familiar with. So that when you're getting started, you're not buying an obscure project, that's doing a dentistry in the middle of nowhere. You're buying a collectible from your favorite artist or your community. Approach and that accessibility point is much more friendly for those that are new to the space.
Great, yeah. What's your favorite NFT?
My favorite NFT that I own is going to be my one. I think that he's an incredible artist. I had the opportunity of connecting with him very early on in his career. It was at the time my biggest purchase of 10 ETH, and that was something that felt very risky in the moment. But now as I look back on it, I think having a one-of-one work from a highly respected artist like Fuck Render on a platform as coveted as SuperRare feels really foundational to me. I'm also very proud of my CryptoPunk that I own. I was lucky enough to get that in 2019 for 1 ETH, and having just rode it all the way up, which has been fantastic. And then sort of the more unconventional answer is I actually own a bunch of VIP for life NFTs. So I've collected music NFTs from a dozen plus artists Many of them have gone on to offer life benefits that they sell. And so for me, I really want to be seen as someone who's not only very actively aware of what's happening in the crypto market. So I own a lot of art blocks, I own CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, Cool Cats, Stoner Cats, you can name the whole like of it, but also being able to enter in new markets. So supporting my musician friends who are doing NFTs, buying their first NFTs on Foundation, buying the records on. I think for me, it's less about the investment opportunity for NFTs and more just about supporting new and creative talent. And if I could be the person seen as the go, specifically musicians entering the space, I think that I've done a really good job with my brand and my relationship to those projects.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, what does it mean to have financial freedom?
To have financial freedom means that you have the ability to work on whatever you want, whenever you want. I think it's far less about the number of dollars in your bank account and far more about the ability to spend your time on whatever you're most excited about. So you can be financially free at a very low price point so long as you have the opportunity to earn income doing what you love in a very open way. This is why I've been so active in things like on-chain governance. There's treasuries all across crypto with billions of dollars and that are begging for people to work on it, but it's just the science right now to be able to actually get paid to work on what you want to. And so for me, I think that financial freedom is basically having found a recipe to earn income at your choosing by working on whatever you love and being able to know confidently that irregardless of what you're working on any given day, you can wake up and feel happy about how you're spending your time because you're the one deciding what you want to work on and no one else can do that for you.
Awesome. So, what gaps do you think there are when it comes to crypto education?
I think we go very deep down the rabbit hole very fast. I think very simple things like joining a Discord server, adding a token to MetaMask, buying your first Ether, all of these things are still extremely complicated topics. And I think as an industry, we need to be better about recognizing that these are extremely difficult onboarding processes. Downloading a wallet and writing down a 24-phrase seed phrase as your very experience and intimidating. And so for education specifically, I think understanding that there is a spectrum and that not everyone needs to be fully non-custodial from the start. It's okay to get people into something like a Coinbase to start off and then edge them into the deeper, more exciting things is perfectly fine. And then finding more use cases that don't require financial involvement. I think that the easiest thing to get caught up in is when people start with crypto, it's the assumption that you need to invest $100, you need to invest X amount of dollars to get started. I don't think that all of crypto needs to be financial in nature. And so an area that we is showing people that they can collect NFTs without having to buy Ether. They can earn tokens from joining Discord servers and just highlighting that there are ways to get involved in this space without a financial investment. And if we can really open that design diamond up, I think we're going to get millions and millions of new users in because they're going to be fascinated by the ability to earn income online by working for the communities that they're most passionate about.
Awesome. So, you help to create
benefits. So it is such a fantastic community.
I have been a gift for coffee time. So, what do you think? How
The way I think about Friends with Benefits is the ultimate cultural membership. What does it mean to join an online community and make friends online and build meaningful products and services together? And so what started out as a fun Discord server to come hang out and talk about everything from NFTs to Uniswap tokens to the latest and greatest bakery down the street in Los Angeles has now evolved into a very robust community of builders and creatives trying to really expand the notion of being, a member of an online cultural community. I think on my end, I'm really excited about the idea of org structure. So what does it mean to have a DAO that's formally employing 10 plus people, that's helping with contributors across the world, that's coordinating on major projects together? And what I see as the next year happening here is going from what today is a social club where you go and find and meet people to being a very respected shop that's able to output product services that are the community. And so examples of this are FWB Gallery that we've built to auction off NFTs using Zora auction house contracts, our Gatekeeper tool, which allows you to RSVP to IRL events and checks that you're holding tokens to get in the door. And then more broadly, things like editorial. I think that there's so much exciting content in crypto across the board that's very difficult to keep up with. And if we can create a hub for you to know that you can come in touch base with a few of the right people and feel really caught up on what's happening. I think that that's a huge W and something that I want to keep pushing forward with all of my time.
I'm curious to know on DAOs and how do you see them evolving further?
So DAOs are the next LLCs. I feel very next 5 years, we're going to see an emergence of internet-based companies that are structured as DAOs. I think right now, while they're highly crypto native, we're going to see a lot more structure put in place for how to start a DAO, a lot more legal clarity on how to operate a DAO, and over time, a lot more foundational infrastructure to allow communities of any size to use DAOs to really build out their projects in a meaningful capacity. What I'm really excited about that I mentioned earlier is basically finding out how do we hire people as a DAO? How do we build organizational structures around decentralized internet communities that don't fall into the pitfalls of traditional hierarchy? And how do we use working capital that's allocated to a community to build meaningful products and services together? And so today we see a world where DAOs are very rich in capital. They have billions of dollars sitting there idly waiting to be used. And the evolution of this, I think, is finding systems to allocate that capital meaningfully and finding people and products to be able to plug into DAOs and make it very easy for you to not only distribute, find the proper talent to work on the things that you love.